I'm Sarah Joy, and this is Sarah's Joyful Journey. Thank you for all of our returning viewers, and if you're a new viewer, I hope you like what you see. Be sure to hit the like and subscribe button if you want to follow my journey. I'm so excited to sit down with you. I am in a new location this week. Matt is printing out in the living room, so you can hear the hum of his 3D printer. So I was trying to avoid that noise. So I am sitting in front of my yarn cabinet. For those of you that don't know, I am a knitter, a spinner, and a weaver. You can kind of see all of that behind me. I also apologize if you can hear my dog whining. She's out there and not happy to be separated from me. But if she were to stay in here, she's going to knock the camera over. So I had to banish her temporarily. So how is the week going? Or did the past week go? It was pretty interesting. I did have some issues on Monday with my knee, which I knew that because I was having issues on Saturday. I left work early on Saturday, and then I had, actually it was Wednesday I was having issues because I left work early on Saturday. Then I had 3 days off. I had Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday off. Went on to work on Wednesday, was at work for about an hour and a half, 2 hours, and I was starting to notice some mild swelling in my knee just from standing on the cobblestone, which has been rather hard on my knees at points in the past. So I let my knee leaders know, and then I went over to health services and got my knee evaluated. I think he was overly aggressive with what he prescribed for me to do. He gave me a knee brace, which is fantastic and spot on. I did all the first aid things over the weekend, some rest and ice and elevation, stuff like that. Did not stay completely off my knee because that's counterintuitive to my goals. So what I did do was, for a couple days, I didn't do any walking, and then I just focused on upper body strength and not working out my lower body. And then I slowly, after a few days, I added walking back in. I decreased my speed because normally I walk at about 3.8. So I decreased it down to 3 miles an hour and went a little bit longer than I normally would. I try to really walk only for like 30 to 45 minutes, unless it's a day off, and then I will have a long power walk session. So I started slower. I've been able to increase my speed. Yesterday, I walked 5.12 miles, I think it was, outside, and I averaged about 17 and a half miles and 17.5 minutes per mile. No, that's not right. You know what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to say my mile was 17 and a half minutes. That's what I'm trying to say. It was all right in my brain. It just didn't exit my brain the way that I wanted it to. That happens sometimes for me. So that was good. He did tell me that I had to go on light duty. I have not been happy about that. I was very upset. I was not in a good mood. I've been on light duty before, and light duty very much feels like a punishment. They send you to a new area if your area can't accommodate you. I've only been accommodated in my area one time. So then you're working with people who know that you're not there permanently, so they don't talk to you. They don't have anything to do with you. They don't really speak to you. They just sit you wherever they need to sit you and give you some work to do if you're lucky. So I was very upset about that. And then they sent me for my first transitional duty assignment, they sent me to a park I didn't have any desire to work in. I love visiting Magic Kingdom. I have no desire to work in Magic Kingdom. It's an anxiety, stress thing because of the tunnels. They're not very well labeled, and I was freaking out. Thankfully, I had a friend who has worked at Magic Kingdom for many, many years. She offered to go with me to the shift, get on the bus with me, show me the tunnel, show me where I needed to go. So, which was good, which was very, very good because nobody showed me where anything was. So if she hadn't pointed out things where like the break room was, where I could put my stuff for the lockers was, I wouldn't have known. I did have to find the bathroom, and that was not fun. It took me 20 minutes of my 30-minute break to find the bathroom. But it is what it is. But that day, the assignment was actually pretty good because they let me be on stage and I was doing pin trading. So I had a good time. The leaders in that area and the coordinators in that shop, I worked at the Ye Old Christmas shop, were fantastic. They were checking on me. They were treating me like a person. So I was super, super excited about that. My typical work hours are 7 to 4 or 7:30 to 4. and that Magic Kingdom, they have me at 10 to 6:30. So one issue that was going to arise was the fact that we have one car. I was going to have to get dropped off at 6:30 in the morning for my 10 a.m. shift and sit around for several hours. And my family, if I needed to have the car to be able to do physical therapy or whatnot as transitional duty progressed, my family would not have access to get the car, and they would be potentially sitting around on the opposite side for 4 or 5 hours once they got off. So it was just not going to be convenient. So I reached out to my leaders in my home location and explained, hey, this is what's going on. This is going to be a serious burden. This is not going to work. So they asked me if I would be willing to work at Hollywood Studios, and they will see if they could get me a new transitional duty assignment. They were successful. So sometimes you win some, sometimes you lose some. I had a great gig being able to sit with people, talk with people, sit and do pin trading, which is a lot of fun, interacting with guests, which I love doing. And then I ended up being stuck in a workhouse or a warehouse where no one pays any attention to you. I still don't talk to you. You're lucky if you get work. I spent 3.5 hours of my 6-hour shift staring at a wall. I started listening to books. I was watching YouTube videos all while on the clock, which is really what you're not supposed to do. But they didn't bring us enough work, and nobody checked on us. Nobody did anything for us. So while the location is better and the time is much better, because my new time is from 7 to 1, which is kind of sad because now I'm only getting 6-hour shifts instead of 8 hours. So I'm not getting the hours that I want. But like I said, you win some, you lose some. It works out better for our family because my daughter works at Hollywood Studios. My husband works at the resorts right around Hollywood Studios. If he had to work further, he could get on a bus after work and he can bus to Hollywood Studios and walk to the back of the cast parking lot. So the car is accessible if need be, if I have to have it, or vice versa. We can generally figure something out. So much improvement there. But still not fun. I'm on transitional duty till August 3rd. I have my first PT today. I'm kind of excited about, but not really. Maybe I'll learn a few things. My knee has been doing better and I have been progressively adding more stuff. Today I did my first leg workout. I used resistance bands. I did some research and found out that resistance bands can help build strength in your knees and your tendons and muscles and stuff like that. It's different than doing it with weights, doing like squats and lunges with weights. So I'm going to focus for the next little while on resistance band leg workouts, and arm workouts are going to be just weights for a while. So I'm going to try and strengthen this knee because this knee has arthritis in it, and I think that is the real problem. I just got to get that knee a little bit stronger. So that workout was good. It was tough. My legs felt like jelly, and I had to sit on the floor for a good 10 minutes before I could stand up again. And then I went ahead and I did a run today. Today was my first run that I have done in over a week. It's been almost 2 weeks. So I slowed down and I didn't go as far. I did about 1.33 miles before I decided that I was done. And at that point, I had already exercised well over an hour because I did 30 minutes for my arms, 25 minutes for my legs, and we were at about 20 minutes for the run. So it was a really successful day. So we'll see how PT goes. I know that they want me to do it 3 times a week. So hopefully I will find out today when my next appointment is, and hopefully we can get it worked out to be after my shift, but before everybody else gets done. It would be great if it was going to be like at 1:30, 2 o'clock, because I could easily get over there, get it done before everybody else gets done. And we could still get home at our normal time, which is something else that the 10 to 6:30 shift was going to affect. It meant that I wasn't going to be able to have access to eating dinner if I needed to eat dinner. You don't always have access to fridges while you're at work. So that was something that was going to be an issue as well. And then it was going to really affect my homework schedule. So the new location, while the work is not as fun and enjoyable, at least the times are better. So I'm appreciative of that. So strength training progress. I have started doing my strength training around the end of June, beginning of July. So I'm about 3 weeks in to my strength training routine. I do this a minimum of 4 days. My goal is 6. I usually get 5. So I'm doing better. For a while there, I did cut out the walking, and I'm like, no, I still got to get the walking. So I'm trying to combine the two back in together. I have noticed some differences. I think I see some visual differences. Like I feel like I can see more muscle strength in my arms, and I feel like my arms are less bat wingy, except on this arm because this is my weaker arm. But so I feel like I'm getting stronger, which is good. And I know that I started out with 5 and 10s. I am consistently using 10s and 15s now. I even did a couple rep or one set today of overarm presses with a 20-pound weight. So that was really good. But it was after that set, I was like, nope, that was really heavy. So I did not continue. I just dropped down and said, hey, I tried. And that's all that matters. It was too much at that point. So just go back down. So that has gone really well. Hopefully I can get up to 6 days a week because again, my goal this year is to put on muscle and still lose fat. So it's going well. So last week I weighed in and I told you that I had gotten the InBody scale and I'm really enjoying it. I've got on my InBody scale 3 times in the past week. Because again, I've also mentioned I am a daily weigher because it doesn't affect me. It's not an end-all be-all thing for me. It's another tracking tool in my opinion. And it's one of the things that I do like to keep track of. But last week I was 215.16. And remember, I had gone up. I had lost 10 pounds right before I got off Manjaro. And then I got off Manjaro and gained that 10 pounds back. So I was at 207 at one point. And then I got up to the 217. So last week I was down a little bit by the time Monday rolled around, and that was 215.6 pounds. And then this week I am down 213.2 pounds. So I have lost a couple of pounds. I'm really happy about that. Muscle changes, it seems each time depends on what it wants to read. If I have gained more skeletal muscle mass, or I've lost it, or I've gained more fat. So it is just a tracking tool. It's not an end-all be-all. I'm just looking for trends. And for me, the easiest way to look for trends is if I do it every day. So this coming week, I will probably do my InBody scan every day to help me assess an overall trend and look more scientifically at my data. I am still tracking all my food just to make sure that I'm hitting my new macro goals, which again, anytime that I talk about macros, these are macros for me. This is what is working for me and my body. It can give you a guideline, but this may not be right for you. So I do want to say that up front. This is my version of keto, what works for me. My goal is a minimum of 100 grams of protein. Some days I have struggled in the past week with that. But mostly I can get to 100. I'd like to be around 150 to potentially as high as 200. 200 I haven't hit. I haven't even been close. But I can generally get between 1 and 130. If it's a really hungry day, like where I'm really hungry, I can get to about 150, 160. And again, the reason why I've upped my protein is because I am doing more strength training and I've put more emphasis on building muscle. And to build muscle, you do need adequate protein. I do try to still get a 1-to-1 ratio of protein to fat grams. I get close. Sometimes I'm a little higher on protein than I am on fat. But if I can get a little bit higher in fat, that's fine too. But sometimes I'm just not hungry for it, so I don't push it. Yesterday was a day where I was like hungry all day, but I was not surprised by that because the previous 2 days were really light days for me. Especially one of those days, anxiety took over when I had to go to Magic Kingdom, and I did not eat until about 7 o'clock at night. Stress and anxiety would not let me eat until then, and then I smashed about 30 chicken wings from Buffalo Wild Wings without sauce. So I ate good that day, but I just ate probably a little bit less than I normally would have, and much later than I normally would have. And then the next day, I tended to be pretty light as well. So it'll be interesting to see how it goes going forward, because I only have a 15-minute break on work days while I'm on transitional duty. So that is not enough time to eat a full meal. So I'll probably just pack some of my Epic bars, meat bars, either venison or beef. Those are my favorite. And I might be able to get a snack in at work, but we'll see. I'm also planning to bring a keto brick too, because, I can eat a half or a quarter of a keto brick in about 15 minutes and at least have some nutrition going forward before I eat a bigger meal at dinner time. I tend not to eat breakfast on work mornings. I usually save that for days where I'm off, and I'll have like breakfast and dinner, or sometimes I'll have breakfast and lunch and not dinner. We'll see. I did have breakfast this morning. I was hoping to have lunch just so I can meet all my protein requirements, but I don't think lunch is going to happen because it's now 2 o'clock and I've got to leave in an hour and a half for physical therapy, and then I'm going to have dinner. So it'll probably just be dinner tonight, which I'm experimenting. So you'll see it in the vlog that I'll be releasing tomorrow. We're going to have pot roast. I normally braise it in the oven, but I'm going to put it in the Instapot today, just because I can cook it a little bit faster and easier, because I want to experiment and try Maria Emmerich's carnivore biscuits. I have not jumped onto the egg white bread type bandwagon prior, but I'm interested to try it to see if it's something that would be a good way to occasionally get in some extra protein without a whole lot of carbs. So we're going to try it and see how it goes. All right. I'm sorry, I'm looking at my notes to make sure I'm staying on track with everything that I want to talk about. One thing that I'm planning on doing, I just have to work up the courage to ask for the referral, is I do want to finally go ahead and go through the process of getting officially diagnosed for ADHD. Self-diagnosis, I do feel, is valid. I know I have it. I notice it more now that I know that I'm autistic. I'm able to separate those two things, and I can see what symptoms I have that are more aligned with autism and which ones are more aligned with ADD, where ADHD is technically the new term. ADD is antiquated, but most people know what that is when you say it. So I'm probably going to start that process soon, just so that if I need accommodations for school, I don't think there will be really any accommodations that they can give me at work, other than being able to maybe wear my loops for hearing sensitivity and stuff like that. But I have to have a diagnosis if I want to have some accommodations, and I've got my stats class coming up, and stats classes make me cry. I am not a huge fan of math. I'm not great at math. I don't mind stats so much. So hopefully grad level will be okay. I did okay in my undergrad. I got B's, but it was a lot of meltdowns to get to those B's. And B's were the best that I could do, which is fine. I'm totally happy with that. But B's in grad schools is almost as if you're failing. A C is failing in grad school. So I need to be able to step up my game and keep my grades as high as possible so that I can actually graduate. Now, talking about school, I just realized something. So I had to do a big project a couple weeks ago, and in that big project, it talked about my timeline for completing school. And I was looking at that timeline. Our school, or my school, runs on a quarter system. So we do 4 quarters a year. And I had it in my brain when I started this project, 3 quarters in a year. And because that's what my financial aid covers. And I didn't connect it until this week that if I want to take that 4th quarter a year, I have to pay for that out of my pocket. I'm not thrilled because each quarter is just under $6,000 and I haven't saved anything. But I'm also only in the 1st quarter. So we are coming up with a plan that will allow us to continue paying off some debt. We don't have a whole lot, but we do owe our daughter some money from when she helped us when we had no checks during COVID. So we do need to pay her. We're still trying to pay off our car, which should be done in a few months. And then we have a few credit cards, nothing super major, but it is a priority that we want to get done. So now I have to figure out how to balance paying off debt and saving for that 4th term, One thing that will help is I do get a certain amount allotted for those 3 terms, and typically I will have about 13 to 1500 left over. So I've been sending those back. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep the remaining funds and I'm going to put them in a savings account, and then I will have access to those funds to at least get a class. My goal for this fourth quarter, which is still like 3 quarters away, because I'm still in my first term, and I'll have them be able to cover 3. So that will at least pay for a class, and then I'm going to do my best to go ahead and save the rest of the money to be able to get a second class, which will allow me to stay on my schedule with potentially graduating with my PhD in 4 years. I am not a person who wants to take a big gap in school. Even if that gap is only 11 weeks, it's not going to work for me. I need to stay focused and driven in order to complete it. If I take a break for a term every year, it's going to slow me down, which is going to frustrate me, and it's going to be counterproductive. So now that I know there's an issue, I do have to work hard to prevent the issue from occurring and make sure that I can save enough to pay for at least 2 classes. This first go around, if I can even only get 1 done, that will be amazing, because even 1 class is doing something rather than taking an entire term off for 11 weeks. So that was a setback I wasn't anticipating, and hopefully, we can recover for it. The other thing that I have not found any information about is this next term, I do have to do my first residency. This one has to be done in person. I have no idea when it's going to be, where it's going to be, how much it's going to cost. All I know is it's a week, and I'm hoping that they'll come out and they'll give us some information soon, because the new term starts August 28th. And it stresses me out not knowing what's going to happen. I'm not one who does well with last minute plans. That's the autism. I like to know everything ahead of time so I can adjust and structure it and know what to expect and what's going to happen. But it is what it is, and hopefully it will be something that's easy to do. I mean, I typically have to request days off months in advance, if not a full year in advance. So finding out last minute is not going to be pleasant, because I can't guarantee that I'll get the days off work. I can't guarantee that I'll be able to get give the shifts away if I can't get the days off. And if I have to call out, I have to make sure that my point system, my points within the point system are within range that I can actually do that without, 1, triggering medical leave or a reprimand, because if you get too many reprimands, you get fired from the company, and that's not cool. So I have a lot of things to balance with that. So hopefully it will work out well with that. And then really I've got only one more thing that I want to talk about. I've been thinking about how I want this channel to progress and hopefully grow. It is growing slowly, which I love. Slow is good for me. I'm still trying to learn and figure things out. But I do think that I have a structure that's going to work well for me and for my goals. Let me see if I can flip back to see if it's in this little notebook. Because again, I'm going to share my mission statement, which is my mission statement for my goals for my career, my future career, as well as for this channel. They directly go hand in hand. So my mission is to inspire women to improve their health and empower them to live full and active lives while creating a community of support and kindness. So what this is going to look like with this channel and for me is I am going to continue to do a weekly video. That's a general video of me just sitting down and sharing how my week has been, what has occurred, struggles, strengths, anything that's going on. So that will continue to happen. And then because I am a psych major and mental health is very important to me, we're going to start next week. Just so I have time to prep for it, we're going to start with a Wellness Wednesday. So Wellness Wednesday will be a little video of a wellness topic that you can use. You can take it, hopefully adapt it to your life and apply, or just take in the information and go, well, I didn't know that. That's something new that I hadn't experienced. So that part is going to be very important for me. And then I'm also going to, as a way of being accountable to myself, I'm going to do weekly What Am I Eating videos. Those will go up on Friday, so they'll be recorded from Friday. So I'll start this Friday and carry it through dinner Thursday night, and then I'll upload that on Friday. So you will see what I ate in the previous week. Again, this is just about me being accountable to myself more than anything. And it'll also give you an idea of what I'm eating and what it looks like. And it can be used as a guideline. It's not an end all be all. It is just, this is what is working for me. Or if it doesn't work, I can find out things that I need to tweak to continue to work it. Because one thing is I want to make sure that I'm eating enough just nutrition in general. And my goals are not necessarily to lose weight. My goal is to maintain metabolic health, improve metabolic health, and to put on muscle this year, as well as lose fat. So yes, weight loss will be a side effect. So you'll hear me talk about my weight, but my weight is not an end all be all. I might go up, I might go down. I'll most likely hopefully will go down, but I'm not looking for super fast weight loss. I am looking for slow, sustained weight loss that I will be able to keep off for the rest of my life. I have already decided that keto is not a diet for me. It is a lifestyle. I will be doing this lifestyle for the rest of my life. And it will change as I go through and times go through as my goals change and my body changes. I know that I'm going to be eating different amounts at different times, and it's just going to look different. So I'm just going to share that journey with you. And then maybe I will do also a vlog occasionally. The vlogs will just be like if we go out and we do an adventure that we'll take you along, and you could just, see how we live life while we're out and about. Because we do try to go out and do fun things every once in a while. You'll see it in the vlog that's coming up this week. Tomorrow, I'm really excited. We're going to Lake Louisa State Park. It's a Florida state park. It is literally 5 minutes from my house, 6 minutes from my house, and I have never been. And we have lived in this apartment for 4 years, so we're excited. We're gonna pay our little $5 and we're gonna go hiking around the area. So I'm super, super excited about that. So you'll get to see that on the vlog. So those adventures will kind of sort of be their own vlog going forward. I can't promise that there will be one every week, but there will be some occasionally. It really just depends on workload and school load, on how that is going to be affected. Possibly in my weekly videos, I might talk about my workouts as well. So that it might be a combo of what I'm eating and what I'm doing for physical activity. And again, that will just be a way for me to be accountable, and then sharing with you what I'm doing and my progress and how that has been working for me. So yeah, that's pretty much how it's gone. And then maybe, I still don't know if this is the right space for it, but I might share very, very rarely what I'm working on as far as crafting. I don't get to work on it a lot, but that's okay. Crafting is a huge part of my self-care and a way to help with my mental health. So it might creep in here every once in a while, but it's not my focus. So I will make sure that it's not the focus of the channel. And I will also make sure that any crafting videos I do will be completely separate and labeled as such. So those who have no interest in see what I'm crafting don't have to watch it. So that's what I've got for this week. And I just got a text message reminding me that I need to respond about my PT. So I will go ahead and I will say goodbye so I can respond to that text and then get started on our dinner. So thank you for taking the time to sit down and let me share my journey with you. I hope that you find this useful. If you like it, give it a thumbs up. Be sure to subscribe, leave comments. I do respond to comments. I love hearing from you guys. So I just hope that you guys enjoy this. We'll talk to you again next week. Bye for now.